It was an ordinary evening when it began. A quiet night in late autumn, when the chill outside made the warmth of the home feel safe, almost sacred. In the small apartment, a mother and her young son spent the evening together in the living room. They had an old pool table pressed against the wall, and it had become their nightly ritual, laughing between shots, teasing each other, filling the space with comfort. But comfort never lasts forever. As the clock edged toward 9:30, the boy leaned back on his chair, giggling after sinking a ball. Without warning, the chair jolted violently as though yanked from beneath him. He toppled, landing on the carpet with a soft thud. His mother rushed to his side, thinking at first that he had only lost his balance. But when she looked at him, really looked, her heart froze. His face was pale, his lips quivered, and his wide eyes weren't on her at all. They were fixed on the balcony door behind her. She turned slowly, her breath shallow, and saw nothing but the glass door half covered by a curtain, swaying in the night air. At least that's what she thought, until her gaze settled deeper into the dim light. There, framed in the pale silver glow of the moon, was a shadow. It was tall, thin, and though it was perfectly still, it felt alive, watching. The mother blinked, hoping her eyes deceived her. But then, as if to answer her disbelief, the shadow moved. Not with the weight of a body stepping forward, but with a glide silent, smooth, unnatural. It slipped from the balcony into the living room, crossing the threshold as though no barrier existed. The boy screamed. The sound snapped the mother into action. She scooped him into her arms and ran to the kitchen, slamming the door shut. Her trembling hands reached for the lock, but the door had no lock to turn. The apartment was small, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. For long moments, silence pressed against them. She could hear only her own breathing and her son's muffled sobs against her shoulder. Then came a sound, a faint scrape, like fingernails dragging gently along the wall outside the kitchen. It traveled slowly, deliberately, circling them like a predator. And then it stopped. When she finally dared to open the door, the living room was empty. No shadow, no movement, just the pool balls scattered on the table, the curtain brushing gently in the breeze. She convinced herself it was exhaustion, stress, her imagination running wild. But her son wouldn't stop talking about it. He said the shadow had no face, that it stood taller than the door frame, that it looked at him with eyes he couldn't see, but could somehow feel. That night, he refused to sleep in his own room. He curled up beside her, clutching her tightly, whispering over and over that it would come back. And it did. Every night after that, at the same time, something would disturb the quiet. Sometimes it was the rattle of dishes in the sink. Other times, the sound of footsteps pacing from the balcony to the hallway. Once, she woke to the balcony door sliding open on its own, though she knew she had locked it. And each time, when she looked, she would catch it there in the corner of her vision. A tall, thin figure in the shadows, watching. Days turned to weeks, and the mother grew pale, exhausted from sleepless nights. Her son spoke less and less. retreating into silence as though words themselves might draw it closer. Their lives revolved around surviving the nights, waiting for the sun to break through the darkness, though daylight offered little comfort. She began to notice faint marks along the balcony glass smears, streaks as though something pressed against it with inhuman hands. Desperate, she reached out for help. Priests, spiritual healers, neighbors who had lived in the building for decades. Some shook their heads, unwilling to listen. Others whispered a word she had never heard before, a word that carried both fear and resignation: the Watcher. According to the stories, the Watcher was not a ghost in the ordinary sense. It was older, bound not to death, but to silence and despair. It would choose a home, a family, a soul, and linger feeding not on life, but on fear itself. The more you saw it, the more it rooted itself into your world. And once it stepped inside, it never left. The mother wanted to flee, to pack her bags and leave the apartment behind. But money was scarce, and the world outside offered no safety she could afford. So they stayed, trapped within the four walls, but no longer felt like home. One night, as the wind howled through the city streets, she woke to the sound of her son's voice. Not a scream, not a cry, but a soft whisper, as though speaking to someone. She sat up, heart racing, and saw him at the foot of the bed, facing the balcony. The door was open. The curtain billowed inward, and standing there with him was the shadow, her body locked in terror. She couldn't move, couldn't breathe. She wanted to scream, but no sound came out. Then her son turned his head slowly toward her. His voice was flat, lifeless. He says he's been here all along. The mother finally lunged forward, grabbing her son, pulling him back into the bed. She slammed the balcony door shut, locking it with trembling hands. But when she turned back, the shadow was gone. Or so she thought. Because even now, when she sits alone at night, she swears she sees it in the corner of her eye, at the balcony, at the hallway door, sometimes reflected in the black surface of the television screen when it's turned off. And she knows, deep in her soul, that the Watcher is still there, waiting